So new episodes of Futurama have been coming out, and me and my brother have always wanted our own Planet Express ship, and we thought might as well make one because we couldn't find one for cheap online or anything. So we don't have a good resin printer or crazy good acrylics and supplies, but we found what was laying around, and we pretty much built a cool model. And so we're gonna show you how we did it and what supplies you would need if you wanted to make one. And let's get right into it. Now that we have all the pieces that we want printed out, here's this main part of the body of the ship, and I've already at this point sanded it and trimmed it a little bit, but the problem with it is a seam right down this middle. So I sanded as much as I could, but the paint's really gonna, cover it up and get that out of there. The same thing for this top of the wing of the ship. I've already sanded it, and this line right here, there was problems with the printer, and it was really kind of jagged. The same thing with the letters, the Planet Express letters. When I printed the back of this, the rocket, there was like a webbing from the filament, and I just had to sand it out and kind of hit it with the X-Acto knife, and even hit it with a lighter so I could get into the spots I couldn't get. There's just more sanding on that top wing, and then the gunning part of the ship on the top where a person would be, it was, it didn't really fit right on the first time I tried it, so I had to trim around and get it like exactly where it could pop in and sit. So once I had that trimmed, I could just sit it in there, place it in snug where it wouldn't move. Now I had to just do more sand work on all of the pieces to get them right where we wanted to. We also printed off this square peg that just gets right into the gunner of the ship, the top portion. We glue that on so it can, stay there forever. And place it on there. And then we use filament for the same concept with the little holes, because we didn't want to print off little pegs, so we just snapped them in and then clipped them off and then glued them on. So at this point we've had the model fully assembled, and we just got to hit it with a few coats of primer. I think we did this 3 times and waited about 20 minutes in between. Once we had that dried for about an hour and a half, we tried to get this first set of paint, but it was all clumpy and it wasn't sitting right, so we had to make this new blue-green Futurama color that you can see right now. And just coat it on here all throughout. So at this point in the process, I wasn't too much worried about getting the little details. I was just trying to get the base colors on. And the little Planet Express, the logo with the rocket, is the same color as the main body. So I'm just trying to get that in the corners and get it on there. So it's been a couple days since we last painted this main body of the ship and got it how it looks right now. And I think all we have to do is get a dark green for these wings, white and black for like the little detail work on the ship right here, and then red on this stripe. Is really gonna make it pop, I think. And other than that, then we'll have it ready to go, and we'll put it on a glossy clear coat over it, and then it'll be done. So for the wings, I'm using this darker green than the rest of the ship, and I'm not too worried, like I said, about getting outside of the lines or color, because we're going to come back through here and do all that at the end and get them all perfected. And the majority of the acrylics I'm using is Arteza brand, like this gray and the green, like the dark green, but for the body is the blue green. That's a whole different brand. Right here is the gray that I need to get on all of the metal parts, like the back rocket and like the windows and the door. And here's the red I'm using for the side line, which is my favorite part of the ship. But we're just putting one base coat over it while I have the painter's tape. And then later on we're gonna get all the detail work, like I said, so I can paint outside of the lines and I'm not too worried about it. So I have painter's tape on all of the wings set up, so I have the gray coming in right below it, kind of striping it up and taking it off. And the paint we were using was real old and gloopy. It was not good paint at all, so it got into balled up, and we could just easily take it off with an X-Acto knife and then go back over those spots with the same gray color. And now my brother's finishing off the painting with the final detail work, and he's gonna just cover up all the spots that I messed up on. Now we're going over all the small little detailed parts of the ship that are metal with the same gray that we've been using. So now he's using a small little red drop of paint to set in the logo and follow it down the cracks. And whenever we printed this off, the lettering was really bad and jagged, so he's doing his best to get a black, small little drop and follow it through and highlight the letters. So now that we have all the painting done and the last detail work, we can go ahead and get into the glossy clear coat. And with the clear coat, we did about 3 coats and 15 minutes in between each one of the coats. Alright, so we waited about an hour and a half on that last clear coat, and it's looking pretty much, how we want it to look is good, but there's still some imperfections, like on the Planet Express logo and then some of these spots right here. But we're gonna buff it out and weather it down with some Citadel Warhammer paint. We're gonna dilute this and then make it like a wash and then throw it over and then rub it off. And then right here to finish it, we're gonna put some Tamiya, it's like a dry rub on it. And then that would just make all the metal parts pop, and we'll make the, we'll put like rust spots on it. And we pretty much just want to make it look used and weathered like how it'd be realistically in the show and stuff. And other than that, let's get into the weathering. Now my brother's dry brushing all the Tamiya silver gunmetal on all of the metal parts of the ship. And now he's using the same Tamiya brand rust, the rust color, with a little bit of water, and he's dabbing it on all the metal spots and then wiping it off. Just places that in real life rust would be, and weathering it down where it would look realistically. And right here, he's just putting a little bit of water on the brush and wiping it off and getting all where it's like really orange and too bright. He's just dimming it down and diluting it. So at this point, he's got it pretty much weathered how he wants it, and he's just putting some final touches, wiping it down and getting it to about the right point where we can just display it. I appreciate everybody who stayed to the end. If you like this kind of content, it'd be cool if you subscribe. And any cool ideas or props, anything from movies that you want to see us build, put it down into the comments and we'll get to it and make a video on it. Yeah, other than that, I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.